This doesn't look like Berlin at all. No crowds, no noisy, just water and silence. And the strange part is, this is still Berlin.
Oh my god. New day and new adventure. Today we are in Köpenick.
A part of Berlin most people never see. Which one would you actually enjoy more for a day? The busy center or this? We started at the castle, right in the middle of the water. And already this feels nothing like Berlin. When you think of Berlin, you actually noise and movement. But here, it slows down. Would you expect to find this in Berlin? We didn't plan anything here. We just walked. And somehow, that's when the city feels most real. People sitting in the sun, dogs everywhere. Nothing special, but hard to live. It almost feels like you are left the city without actually living it. You've got the water all around Köpenick Castle, the island, and this calm, almost elegant feeling right away. It doesn't feel hidden exactly, but it does feel overlooked. Like one of those places people walk past too quickly without realizing how nice it actually is. And the more we walked around it, the more the whole area started to walk on us. Not because it's dramatic, just because it feels good to be here. If you don't like crowded Berlin, this type of Berlin is for you. Or are you more of a city energy person? There is something very easy about this place. The park, the light, the dark. Even the way people just sit here and do nothing. And maybe that's why it surprised us. Because it's not the kind of place you come to for one big wow moment. It's just the kind of place that slowly wins you over. We thought we'd just have a quick look and then move on. But this was one of those stops that made us stay longer than we planned. And at that point we start thinking, is it actually one of the best areas in Berlin that almost nobody talks about? Have you ever had a place like that on a trip? A place that didn't look huge at first, but ended up being one of your favorite part of the day? And after walking around the castle for a while, we finally moved on toward the old town. And just then you think you figure this place out, it throws something completely unexpected at you. You start noticing more people, more movement, but it never turns into chaos. It's like Berlin, just on a lower volume. This is one of those moments where you just slow down without planning to.
What interesting do you read?
Somewhere about 100 years ago, one of the manufacturers just presented this land to the town hall with an idea to create the first green area in the city.
This one.
A town hall that looks surprisingly serious.
At the beginning of 19th century, a bootmaker actually wanted to obtain a passport here in Köpenick, and he decided to wear an officer uniform and entered actually the building and captured the town hall. But passports were not issued here, and actually the only he did, it took some money from safe, and it was so funny at the time that even King Wilhelm decided that he doesn't need to be punished for that.
And standing here, it sounds unreal, but it's actually happened. And somehow it makes this quiet place even more interesting. All of this just because he looked convincing enough. And that's when this place really shifts from nice walk to something you actually remember.
Here you can see this uniform and the safe that had been robbed.
Can you even imagine someone pulling that off? Pretending to be an officer and taking over the town hall. It sounds unbelievable, right?
It is so incredible story that a lot of different caricatures have been created that time.
After that, you start looking at everything a bit differently. Even the small street feels like they might have their own stories. And this is where something really unexpected happens. Berlin almost disappears. If you didn't know where you are, you'd probably never guess this is a capital city. It feels more like a small town somewhere far away from the center. The streets are quieter. The buildings feel more personal. And everything moves at a completely different pace. Which one would you choose, honestly? The busy, loud center? Or a place like this?
Building is destroyed already, nevertheless some part of the roof is still here.
Everything just feels easier. We've been living in Berlin for 4 years and still didn't expect to find something like this here. It almost feels like a different city hidden inside the same one. And just when you think this is already surprising enough, something even more unexpected shows up. Then we thought the Köpenick has already shows up its best side. It surprises us one more time. Because what we saw next didn't feel like Berlin at all. And we had no idea it even existed.
We came to an old fishing village and you can see a lot of buildings similar to this one.
This part of Berlin actually used to be a separate town. And this was one of its oldest areas. It used to be a real fishing village. And somehow it still feels like one. Small houses right by the water. Quiet streets. It almost doesn't make sense that this is Berlin.
The first mentions about the village was like in 13th century.
Places like this are easy to miss. But once you find them, they completely change how the city feels.
Everything around is about fishing.
This is probably not the Berlin most people imagine, but it might be one of the versions of Berlin that feels the most real.
Fish and rabbits. People are trying to explore a city in a weekend, but we are pretty sure it's just not possible.
Not city, Berlin.
It is especially hard for Berlin just because, like, Köpenick, we just have found that it's extremely interesting to have a walk here, but yeah, it's definitely far from what you expect to see during weekend.
And then we reach the river just in time for sunset. And suddenly the whole walk made even more sense. We love exploring city on foot, not just for landmarks, but for moments like this. If this feels like your kind of travel, you might want to stick around.